Commander Jake Morrison stood at the main console of the orbital defense station New Horizon. The screens around him showed nothing but empty space and distant stars. He had been watching the same view for 3 years now. Nothing ever changed. Until today. The alarm rang loud across the bridge. Jake turned to see Dr. Lisa Carter running from her lab. Her face was white with shock. She held a data pad in her shaking hands. "Commander, you need to see this right now," Lisa said. Her voice was high and tight. "We have detected something at the edge of our solar system." Jake took the data pad and looked at the readings. Numbers and graphs filled the screen. He did not understand most of it, but one thing was clear. Something big was out there. "What am I looking at?" Jake asked. "A gravitational anomaly unlike anything we have ever seen," Lisa replied. "Something is bending space itself near Pluto. The mass readings are impossible." Jake felt his heart beat faster. After decades of searching, had humanity finally found proof they were not alone? He activated the emergency communication system. "Captain Ryan Brooks, this is New Horizon Command. We need you out here now." Within minutes, Captain Brooks responded, from his ship orbiting Earth. "What is the situation, Commander?" "We may have visitors," Jake said. "Alien visitors." The next few hours passed in a blur. Captain Brooks arrived with 3 interceptor squadrons. Admiral Patricia Wells joined the conversation from Earth. Scientists around the world turned their telescopes toward the outer solar system. Then they saw it. The alien ship appeared first as a shimmer in space, like heat waves rising from hot pavement. Slowly it became solid and real. The vessel was huge, larger than any human city. Its surface was smooth and crystalline, reflecting light in ways that hurt to look at. "My God," whispered Lieutenant Amy Foster, the communications officer. "It is beautiful." The ship moved through space without any visible engines or exhaust. It seemed to glide like a fish through water. Jake watched it approach and felt both wonder and fear. This was either humanity's greatest day or its last. "All weapon systems are armed and ready," Captain Brooks reported. "Awaiting orders." "Hold your fire," Admiral Wells commanded from Earth. "We do not shoot first. This could be our only chance for peaceful contact." The alien ship stopped near Jupiter. It was so large that Jupiter's moons looked like tiny dots beside it. For long minutes, nothing happened. Both sides waited. Then the ship began to transmit. Amy Foster worked at her console trying to understand the signals coming from the alien vessel. "Commander, they are sending mathematical sequences, prime numbers, geometric patterns, basic physics equations." "They want to talk," Dr. Carter said with excitement. "They are showing us they are intelligent." Jake nodded to Amy. "Send back our own mathematical sequences. Let them know we understand." For the next hour, both sides exchanged increasingly complex mathematical concepts. The aliens proved they understood advanced physics, chemistry, and even biology. They were clearly more advanced than humanity. Finally, the alien transmissions changed. Instead of mathematics, they sent images and symbols. Amy worked with the computers to decode the meaning. "They call themselves the Zephyrians," Amy announced. "They are explorers from another star system. They say they have found thousands of other intelligent species across the galaxy." Jake felt a chill run down his spine. Thousands of other species. Humanity was not just not alone. They were newcomers to a crowded galaxy. The Zephyrians sent more messages. They explained they were scientists who studied new civilizations. They had detected human radio signals and came to investigate. They wanted to determine if humanity was ready to join the galactic community. President Helen Martinez spoke directly to Jake from Earth. "Commander Morrison, you have permission to grant their request for peaceful contact. This is the most important moment in human history." The Zephyrians asked for permission to scan Earth. They explained this was standard procedure for all new species. The scan would examine human technology, society, and biology. Based on the results, they would decide if humanity was ready for galactic membership. Jake looked around at his crew. Lisa Carter nodded eagerly. Amy Foster smiled with excitement. Captain Brooks remained cautious but agreed. This was what humanity had dreamed of for centuries. "Permission granted," Jake transmitted to the alien ship. "You may begin your scan of Earth." The Zephyrian vessel extended long, thin beams of blue light. The beams reached across space and touched Earth's atmosphere. They spread out across the planet like a net, examining every continent and ocean. Jake watched the readouts as the aliens scanned his home world. They examined the cities, the forests, the mountains, and the seas. They looked at human technology, human art, and human history. They studied everything that made humanity unique. The scan continued for exactly 47 minutes. Jake counted every second, knowing this would determine humanity's future. Would they be welcomed into the galactic community? Would they learn the secrets of interstellar travel? Would they finally have proof that intelligence was not rare in the universe? Then, something went wrong. The blue scanning beam suddenly flickered and went out. The alien ship began to shake and vibrate. Its smooth, gliding motion became jerky and unsteady. "What is happening?" Jake asked. Amy Foster was receiving new transmissions from the Zephyrians. But these were different from before. The mathematical precision was gone. Instead, the signals were chaotic and frantic. "Commander, I think something has frightened them," Amy said with confusion in her voice. Jake stared at the alien ship as its lights flashed in random patterns. The mighty vessel that had crossed space to reach them was now behaving like a panicked animal. But what could possibly frighten beings advanced enough to travel between the stars? The answer would come soon enough, and it would change everything humanity thought they knew about themselves. The Zephyrian ship continued to shake and flash its lights in wild patterns. Dr. Lisa Carter watched the readings on her instruments with growing concern. The alien vessel's energy levels were jumping up and down like a heart having an attack. "This is not normal behavior," she said to Commander Morrison. "Something has badly frightened them." Lieutenant Amy Foster pressed her headphones closer to her ears. The alien transmissions were getting louder and more chaotic. Where before there had been calm mathematical sequences, now there was only digital noise that sounded almost like screaming. "Commander, I am getting fragments of their language," Amy reported. "The computer is trying to translate, but most of it makes no sense. I keep hearing the same phrase over and over." "What phrase?" Jake asked. Amy looked at her screen with confusion. "Death World. They keep saying Death World." On Earth, General Paul Henderson coordinated with observatories around the globe. Every telescope and radio dish was pointed at the alien ship. What they saw made experienced scientists shake their heads in disbelief. "The vessel is definitely in distress," General Henderson reported to Admiral Wells. "Whatever they found in their scan has caused a complete breakdown in their systems." The alien ship suddenly lurched sideways, nearly colliding with one of Jupiter's larger moons. Captain Brooks moved his squadron closer, ready to offer assistance if needed. As his ships approached, their cameras got a clear view through the translucent sections of the alien hull. What they saw inside was shocking. The Zephyrians were tall, graceful beings with pale blue skin and large dark eyes. Under normal circumstances, they moved with fluid precision, but now they were running through their ship's corridors in obvious panic. Their movements were jerky and desperate. Some had collapsed on the floor and were making gestures that looked like prayer or surrender. "Captain Brooks to New Horizon," came the transmission. "You need to see this footage. These aliens are terrified out of their minds." Dr. Stephen Parker, Earth's leading expert in alien psychology, reviewed the video from his lab in Geneva. He had spent his career preparing for this moment, studying how different species might behave during first contact. But nothing had prepared him for this. "These beings are exhibiting classic panic responses," Dr. Parker explained in an emergency conference call with world leaders. "Their body language, their erratic movements, their rapid communication patterns, all signs of overwhelming terror." President Martinez leaned forward in her chair. "Terror of what? We granted them permission to scan us. We have been nothing but peaceful." Dr. Parker shook his head. "I do not think they are afraid of our intentions, Madam President. I think they are afraid of what we are." The alien ship made several attempts to leave the solar system, but each try failed. Their navigation system seemed to be malfunctioning. During one attempt, they clipped the edge of Saturn's rings, sending chunks of ice and rock flying in all directions. For a species that had mastered interstellar travel, they were suddenly flying like a drunk pilot. Amy Foster received one final, clear transmission from the Zephyrians before their communications went silent. She worked with the translation computers for over an hour to decode the message. When she finally understood it, her face went pale. "Commander, I have their final message," she announced to the bridge crew. Everyone stopped what they were doing and looked at her. The bridge fell completely silent except for the hum of electronics. Amy read from her screen. "Abort contact protocol immediately. Species classification changed to apex predator. Recommend immediate quarantine of entire system. Under no circumstances should contact be maintained. Warn all ships to stay away. Do not engage." The words hung in the air like a physical weight. Jake Morrison felt his world shift beneath his feet. Apex predator. That was how the aliens saw humanity. Not as potential friends or partners, but as the most dangerous hunters in the galaxy. "There must be some mistake," Dr. Carter said weakly. "We are explorers, scientists, artists. How could they see us as predators?" Before anyone could answer, the Zephyrian ship activated something that defied human understanding of physics. Space itself seemed to tear open in front of the vessel like fabric being ripped apart. Through the hole, they could see stars that were not in their local area of space. The alien ship dove through the tear with desperate speed. The moment it passed through, the hole snapped shut, leaving only empty space where the magnificent vessel had been. The Zephyrians had used some kind of emergency faster-than-light travel to escape the solar system as quickly as possible. They had fled Earth in absolute terror. In the days that followed, governments around the world tried to understand what had happened. Teams of scientists analyzed every second of the encounter. They examined human history, human behavior, and human biology, searching for clues about what had frightened the aliens so badly. Dr. Parker worked with evolutionary biologists to study humanity from an outside perspective. What would advanced aliens see when they looked at human beings? What would their scan of Earth reveal? The answer began to emerge slowly, and it was not what anyone expected. "We need to consider the possibility," Dr. Parker said in a classified briefing, "that from the aliens' point of view, we are not the good guys." General Henderson frowned. "What do you mean?" "We offered them peaceful contact. We did nothing threatening." "We did not need to do anything threatening," Dr. Parker replied. "Our entire existence is a threat. Think about it from their perspective. They scan our planet and what do they find? A species that has conquered every environment on Earth. Land, sea, air, underground, polar regions, deserts, jungles. Humans live everywhere." He pulled up images on the main screen. "They see a species that has driven thousands of other species to extinction. A species that has covered the planet with cities and roads and machines. A species that has turned other animals into slaves for food and labor." The room fell quiet as the implication sank in. "But most importantly," Dr. Parker continued, "they see a species that has spent its entire history at war. Not just occasional conflicts, but constant, continuous warfare. Humans have been fighting each other for thousands of years, and each war has made them better at killing." President Martinez spoke into the silence. "So when they scanned Earth, they saw a planet ruled by the most efficient killers in the galaxy," Dr. Parker finished. "And now those killers are starting to reach for the stars." 3 weeks after the Zephyrian encounter, long-range sensors detected new contacts at the edge of the solar system. Multiple alien ships had arrived and were taking positions far beyond Pluto. But unlike the Zephyrians, these new visitors were not here to make contact. They were here to make sure humanity never left their home system. Commander Jake Morrison stared at the displays showing the outer edge of the solar system. What he saw made his blood run cold. 12 different alien ships hung in space beyond Pluto like guards around a prison. Each ship was different in design, representing different species from across the galaxy. "How many species are out there?" Jake asked Dr. Lisa Carter. Lisa checked her readings again, hoping she had made a mistake. At least 8 different alien races, possibly more. They all arrived within the last week. The alien ships kept their distance from Earth and made no attempt at communication. But they were clearly working together. Construction drones moved between the vessels, building something large and complex in the empty space between them. Lieutenant Colonel Maria Santos commanded the Deep Space Reconnaissance Squadron. Her job was to observe the alien activities, without being detected. What she reported back made everyone nervous. "They are building some kind of barrier or beacon," Maria transmitted from her hidden position behind an asteroid. "The structure is enormous, larger than any space station we have ever built." Lieutenant Amy Foster worked around the clock to intercept alien communications. The different species were talking to each other in multiple languages, but slowly, the translation computers began to understand fragments of their conversations. "I am getting pieces of their transmissions," Amy reported during the daily briefing. "They keep using certain phrases repeatedly." General Paul Henderson leaned forward. "What phrases?" Amy read from her notes. "Containment protocol, existential, threat. And they keep calling Earth the death world. They seem to be very afraid of something breaking out." "Breaking out?" Admiral Wells asked. "What could break out from Earth?" Dr. Stephen Parker had been studying the intercepts with growing unease. "I think they mean us. They are afraid that humans might leave Earth and spread to other planets." President Martinez called an emergency session of the Global Security Council. World leaders gathered virtually to discuss humanity's situation. The facts were becoming clear and terrifying. "We are being quarantined," President Martinez announced. "Multiple alien civilizations have united to keep us trapped in our own solar system." Dr. Frank Turner, Earth's best linguist, had been working with artificial intelligence systems to decode more alien communications. His latest translation sent shockwaves through the human leadership. "Madam President, I have intercepted a transmission between what appears to be alien military commanders," Dr. Turner reported. The translation reads, "The Death World species must not be allowed to spread. Their expansion would mean the end of galactic civilization as we know it." The room fell silent. After dreaming for centuries about joining a galactic community, humanity had discovered they were seen as a plague to be contained. Captain Ryan Brooks led a secret mission to get closer to the alien construction site. His stealth ship used every trick in the book to avoid detection. When he finally got a clear view of what the aliens were building, he wished he had stayed home. "New Horizon, this is Captain Brooks. Why?" he transmitted on a coded channel. "You are not going to believe what I am seeing." "Report, Captain," Commander Morrison replied. "They are building a weapon, a massive, planet-killing weapon aimed directly at Earth." The implications hit everyone immediately. The aliens were not just quarantining humanity. They were preparing to destroy Earth if humans tried to break free from their solar system prison. Dr. Karen White, an evolutionary biologist, had been working with Dr. Parker to understand why aliens feared humanity so much. Their research was producing disturbing results. "We have been approaching this problem from the wrong angle," Dr. White explained to the Emergency Science Council. "We keep asking why aliens are afraid of us. The better question is, why should they not be afraid of us?" She brought up a holographic display showing Earth's history. "Look at our planet from an alien perspective. Earth is what xenobiologists call a death world. It is a planet where almost everything is designed to kill you." The display showed Earth's extreme environments: Arctic cold that could freeze flesh in minutes, deserts hot enough to cook meat, oceanic pressures that could crush submarines, volcanic activity that could bury entire cities. "Most planets that support life are much gentler than Earth," Dr. White continued. "They have stable climates, few predators, and peaceful ecosystems. Species on those worlds evolve intelligence to avoid conflict. But Earth is different. Here, intelligence evolved to win conflicts. Humans are not just smart. We are smart. Predators. We use our intelligence to hunt, to fight, and to dominate our environment." Dr. George Clark, a paleontologist, added his own research to the discussion. "The alien scan of Earth would have revealed our evolutionary history. They would have seen that humans survived by driving other species to extinction. Neanderthals, Cave bears, giant mammals, we outlasted them all. More disturbing, Dr. Clark continued. They would have seen that humans are persistent predators. We do not give up. Ever. We track prey for days until it collapses from exhaustion. We keep fighting even when wounded. We never stop trying to win. Dr. Susan Ross, an anthropologist, presented the most frightening evidence of all. But the worst part is not what humans do to their enemies. It is what they do to their allies. She displayed images of dogs, horses, and other domesticated animals. Humans are the only known species that forms cooperative bonds with other species, but not for mutual benefit, to make them more effective tools for survival. We took wolves, the most successful pack hunters on the planet, and we made them love us. We turned them into weapons that would die to protect us. We made ourselves the alpha predators of an entire world by convincing other predators to serve us willingly. The scientists around the table looked at each other with new understanding. From an alien perspective, humans were not just dangerous. They were impossibly dangerous. They were a species that could make friends with anything and turn those friends into allies in conquest. Commander Morrison received updated reports from the alien barrier construction. The weapon was nearly complete, and more alien ships were arriving every day. Humanity was running out of time. The galactic community has made their decision about us, Admiral Wells announced during the final briefing. We are classified as too dangerous to be allowed into space. They would rather destroy us than risk us spreading to other worlds. President Martinez stood at her podium, addressing the world. My fellow humans, we face a choice. We can accept this quarantine and remain trapped on Earth forever, or we can fight for our right to explore the galaxy. She paused, looking directly into the cameras. But before we make that choice, we need to understand something important. The aliens are not wrong about us. We are exactly what they think we are. The question is, what are we going to do about it? Outside Earth's atmosphere, the alien weapon powered up for the first time. Energy readings spiked across the entire outer solar system. The message was clear. Humanity's prison was complete, and the guards were ready to execute the prisoners if they tried to escape. But the aliens had made one crucial mistake in their assessment of humanity. They understood that humans were dangerous. They understood that humans never gave up. They understood that humans could make allies of anyone. What they did not understand was that sometimes the most dangerous thing in the galaxy could also be the most protective. Dr. Karen White stared at the data on her screen and felt sick to her stomach. After 3 months of research, she finally understood why the entire galaxy was afraid of humanity. The truth was worse than anyone had imagined. Commander Morrison, you need to see this immediately, she called across the research lab on New Horizon Station. Jake Morrison walked over to her workstation, followed by Dr. Stephen Parker and Dr. Lisa Carter. The four of them had been working together since the quarantine began, trying to understand humanity from an alien perspective. What did you find? Jake asked. Karen pulled up a comparison chart showing Earth alongside other planets known to support life. Look at this data from the alien databases we intercepted. Most life-bearing worlds have stable climates that change slowly over millions of years. Gentle seasons, few natural disasters, peaceful ecosystems. She highlighted Earth's data in red. Earth is completely different. Our planet has ice ages every 100,000 years. We have massive volcanic eruptions that block out the sun. We have earthquakes, hurricanes, floods, and droughts that can kill millions. Dr. Parker studied the numbers with growing horror. So Earth is more dangerous than other worlds. We knew that already. No, you do not understand, Karen replied. Earth is not just more dangerous. According to these classifications, Earth should not be able to support intelligent life at all. The environmental pressures are too extreme. Most species would go extinct before they could develop technology. She brought up another chart showing evolutionary timelines. On normal worlds, species have millions of years to slowly adapt to small changes. On Earth, species have to adapt quickly or die. Everything on our planet is built for rapid change and survival under extreme stress. Dr. Lisa Carter looked at the data with scientists' eyes. That explains why humans are so adaptable. We had to be, or our ancestors would have died out. Exactly, Karen continued. But it gets worse. Look at what happened to other intelligent species on Earth. The screen showed archaeological evidence of Neanderthals, Denisovans, and other early human relatives. Humans were not the only intelligent species on Earth. There were others, but they are all gone now. Jake felt a chill run down his spine. What happened to them? We did, Dr. Parker said quietly. He had been studying the same evidence from a psychological perspective. Humans did not just outlast them. We actively displaced them. We took their territory, their resources, their environment. We were better at survival, so they went extinct. Karen nodded grimly. From an alien perspective, humans are a species that commits genocide as a normal part of evolution. We do not just compete with other intelligent life. We eliminate it entirely. She brought up more data showing human expansion across Earth. Look at what happened when humans developed agriculture and technology. We spread across every continent, every environment, every ecosystem. Wherever humans went, other large species disappeared. The aliens call it the death world pattern, Dr. Carter added. A single species becomes so dominant that it reshapes the entire planet to suit its needs. It is incredibly rare, and it always results in massive extinction events. Dr. George Clark joined the group, carrying his own research files. As a paleontologist, he had been studying Earth's fossil record to understand how aliens would interpret human history. The extinction data is even worse than we thought, George announced. The alien scan would have detected that humans have caused the fastest mass extinction in Earth's history. We have eliminated species at a rate thousands of times faster than natural processes. He spread out charts showing population data for various animals. In just the last few hundred years, humans have driven hundreds of species completely extinct and reduced populations of thousands more by over 90%. But here is the truly terrifying part, George continued. We did not do this through warfare or hunting. We did it accidentally, just by being successful. Human civilization is so efficient at using resources that other species simply cannot compete. Jake Morrison sat down heavily in a chair. So the aliens see us as a species that commits accidental genocide just by existing normally. Worse than that, Dr. Parker replied. They see us as a species that has already conquered an entire planet and is now reaching for the stars. From their perspective, human space exploration is not about discovery or science. It is about finding new worlds to conquer. Dr. Susan Ross, the anthropologist, had been studying human social behavior from the alien perspective. Her findings were the most disturbing of all. The psychological profile that the aliens would have built of humanity is absolutely terrifying, Susan explained. Humans are the only known species that practices persistence hunting. We literally chase our prey until it dies from exhaustion. She showed video footage of human marathon runners and endurance athletes. To aliens, this looks like the behavior of an apex predator that never gives up. A species that will hunt you forever until you collapse. But the worst part is our social behavior, Susan continued. Humans are pack hunters who form cooperative groups to take down larger prey. We coordinate attacks, share resources, and work together to achieve goals that would be impossible individually. Dr. Frank Turner, the linguist, had been monitoring alien communications about humanity. The intercepted messages painted a picture of galactic terror. The aliens have classified humans as a Class 12 existential threat, Frank reported. That is the highest danger rating in their system. It means a species capable of eliminating entire civilizations. He played an audio recording of translated alien communications. The voice was artificial, but the fear was clear. The Death World species combines intelligence, aggression, persistence, and pack cooperation in ways we have never seen. They do not just defeat enemies. They convert enemies into allies through a process they call domestication. They reference dogs as an example, Frank continued. To aliens, the fact that humans convinced wolves to serve them voluntarily is proof of humanity's ability to psychologically dominate other species. They see pet ownership as practice for galactic conquest. Commander Morrison looked around at his team of scientists. So let me make sure I understand this correctly. The aliens think we are planet-conquering, species-eliminating, never-give-up pack hunters who turn our enemies into willing slaves. That is exactly what they think, Dr. Parker confirmed. And from their perspective, they have excellent evidence to support that conclusion. The room fell silent as everyone absorbed the implications. Humanity's reputation in the galaxy was not based on misunderstanding or fear of the unknown. It was based on accurate observation of human history and behavior. Captain Ryan Brooks arrived at the station with new intelligence from his reconnaissance missions. The news was not good. The alien barrier is fully operational, Brooks reported. They have moved additional fleets into position around our solar system. Any human ship that tries to leave will be destroyed immediately. More importantly, Brooks continued, I intercepted communication suggesting that some alien species want to take more direct action. They are arguing that quarantine is not enough. They want to eliminate the human threat permanently. Admiral Patricia Wells joined the conversation via secure transmission from Earth. The situation is deteriorating rapidly. Several alien species have voted to begin bombing Earth's major cities as a preventive measure. Only a few voices are arguing for maintaining the quarantine. President Martinez appeared on screen from the White House Situation Room. Ladies and gentlemen, we are facing potential extinction. The galaxy has decided that humanity is too dangerous to be allowed to exist. Jake Morrison stood up and looked out at the stars through the station's main viewport. Somewhere out there in the darkness, dozens of alien species were debating whether to commit genocide against his entire race. The irony was not lost on him. Humanity was being threatened with extinction by aliens who feared that humans might threaten other species with extinction. The galaxy was preparing to do to humanity exactly what they were afraid humanity might do to them. But there was one thing the aliens did not understand about humans. The same qualities that made humanity dangerous also made them protective. Humans did not just fight to conquer, they fought to defend what they cared about. The question was whether humanity could find a way to show the galaxy that monsters could also be guardians before it was too late. President Helen Martinez stood before the United Nations General Assembly with the weight of humanity's future on her shoulders. Every world leader watched as she prepared to address the most important crisis in human history. Fellow leaders of Earth, she began, her voice steady despite the circumstances. We now know the truth about our place in the galaxy. We are not the peaceful explorers we thought we were. We are the monsters that other species tell stories about to frighten their children. The assembly hall was completely silent. Every person present understood that they were living through humanity's darkest hour. The aliens are not wrong about us, Martinez continued. We are exactly what they think we are. We conquered our entire planet. We eliminated other intelligent species. We turned predators into pets and ecosystems into farms. We are the most efficient killers this galaxy has ever produced. She paused, letting those words sink in before delivering the rest of her message. But there is something the aliens do not understand about monsters. Sometimes monsters are exactly what you need. Admiral Patricia Wells had spent sleepless weeks coordinating with military leaders around the world. The alien blockade was impenetrable with current human technology. Earth was completely cut off from the rest of the galaxy. Our situation is desperate, Admiral Wells reported to the Global Security Council. Long-range sensors show that several alien fleets are moving closer to Earth. We estimate they will be in bombardment range within 72 hours. General Paul Henderson pulled up tactical displays showing the alien positions. We count 43 enemy vessels of various sizes. Our entire space fleet consists of 12 ships, none of which are designed for combat against technology this advanced. Recommendation? President Martinez asked. Surrender, General Henderson replied grimly. We cannot win a conventional war against these odds. But Dr. Stephen Parker had a different idea. What if we do not fight them? What if we do exactly the opposite? Commander Jake Morrison looked up from the intelligence reports he had been studying. What do you mean? Dr. Parker activated the communication system connecting New Horizon Station to Earth's leadership. The aliens fear us because they think we will do to them what they would do to us. They think we want to conquer the galaxy because that is how they would use our capabilities. So? Admiral Wells asked. So we prove them wrong, Dr. Parker replied. We show them that monsters can also be protectors. Dr. Frank Turner had been working around the clock to perfect translation protocols with multiple alien languages. His breakthrough came just as the alien fleets moved within striking distance of Earth. I have successfully established two-way communication with the alien coalition, Frank announced. I can send and receive messages in real time. President Martinez made a decision that would echo through galactic history. Send them this message exactly as I say it. Frank Turner broadcast humanity's response to the galaxy on every frequency the aliens were monitoring. The message was simple but revolutionary. To the civilized species of the galaxy, the translation began. You fear us because you think we will do to you what you would do to us. You are wrong. The alien fleet stopped their advance and began exchanging frantic communications. They had expected threats, demands, or pleas for mercy. They had not expected this. We know what we are. The human message continued. We are the apex predators of a death world. We are the species that conquered an entire planet and eliminated our competition. We are everything you think we are. But you have made a mistake in your understanding of what that means. Dr. Lisa Carter monitored alien communications. As the message continued, the chatter between alien ships was increasing dramatically. Something in humanity's words was causing major discussion among the Galactic Coalition. We did not domesticate wolves to make them more dangerous, the message went on. We domesticated them to make them part of our family. We did not turn predators into tools. We turned them into creatures we would die to protect. You built walls to keep the monsters out. But you never asked what the monsters were protecting you from. Captain Ryan Brooks watched the alien fleet formations from his hidden position behind an asteroid. Something was changing. The ships that had been moving into attack formation were now holding position and turning their sensors toward deep space. New Horizon, this is Captain Brooks, he transmitted on a coded channel. The alien behavior has changed completely. They are scanning for something in the outer system. The human message reached its conclusion. You call us monsters, and you are right, but monsters do not always destroy. Sometimes they guard what they care about. Sometimes they stand between their family and the darkness. We do not want to conquer your galaxy. We want to protect it. When the real threat comes, and it will come, you will understand why evolution made us this way. Dr. Karen White had been studying the intercepted alien databases for months. Her latest discovery explained why the aliens were suddenly scanning deep space. Commander Morrison, I found something in the alien historical records, she reported urgently. There is another threat out there, something the galactic community has been hiding from us. Jake Morrison looked at the data Karen had uncovered. Ancient alien records spoke of a species called the Devourers, beings from outside the galaxy who consumed entire worlds and left nothing but empty space behind them. According to these records, the Devourers wiped out dozens of civilizations before disappearing into deep space, Karen explained. The galactic community has been watching for their return for thousands of years. And they think the Devourers are coming back? Jake asked. Not think, no, Karen replied. Long-range sensors have detected Devourer scouts at the edge of galactic space. The invasion is beginning. The alien communications suddenly changed tone completely. Where before there had been talk of destroying humanity, now there was panicked discussion of defense preparations. Dr. Turner worked frantically to translate the flood of alien messages. They are terrified, Turner reported. The Devourers are not just returning. They are returning in larger numbers than ever before. The galactic community's combined fleets cannot stop them. President Martinez smiled grimly as she received the reports. Humanity's message had achieved something impossible. It had made the aliens reconsider their fear of humans in light of a much greater threat. Send them one final message, Martinez ordered. Turner transmitted humanity's final communication to the Galactic Coalition. You wanted to know what monsters are for. Now you are about to find out. We are not your enemy. We are your shield. The alien response came within hours. For the first time since the quarantine began, the galactic community initiated communication with humanity. The message was brief but historic. The quarantine is lifted. We request immediate military alliance against the Devourer threat. Your terms are acceptable. Admiral Wells coordinated the response with world leaders. What terms? We did not give them any terms. Yes, we did, President Martinez replied. We told them we would protect the galaxy. That was our only condition for cooperation. Within days, the alien barrier around Earth was converted into a defensive perimeter. Ships from dozens of species worked alongside human vessels to prepare for the coming invasion. The beings who had once seen humanity as their greatest threat now welcomed human military advisors and tactical expertise. Commander Morrison stood on the bridge of New Horizon and watched alien construction crews working with human engineers. Species that had never cooperated before were now united by the prospect of facing something worse than their worst nightmares. The Devourers will reach the outer colonies within 6 months, Dr. Carter reported, analyzing the latest intelligence. Every simulation shows that the galactic fleets alone cannot stop them. But the simulations change when human tactics are included, she continued with a smile. Apparently, our reputation for never giving up and turning enemies into allies is exactly what the galaxy needs right now. Jake Morrison activated the communication system and sent a message to Earth. Mission accomplished, Admiral Wells. First, contact protocols have been successfully completed. And what is humanity's status in the galactic community? Admiral Wells asked. Jake looked out at the mixed fleet of human and alien ships preparing to defend the galaxy from an ancient evil. We are exactly what we always were, Admiral. We are the monsters who protect our family. And apparently the galaxy is family now. The Devourer invasion would be the greatest test humanity had ever faced. But for the first time in their history, humans would not face the darkness alone. They had found their place in the galaxy not as conquerors or victims, but as the guardians who stood between civilization and the void. The aliens had been right to fear humanity. But they had been wrong about why humans were dangerous. Humans were not dangerous because they destroyed everything they touched. They were dangerous because they would die before letting anything they cared about be destroyed. And now they cared about the entire galaxy.